In this video, I'm just going to get you set up with all the needed files and folders. So we are not going to start from scratch. We are not going to, for example, show you how to set up all the files, the index.html, the style files, and so on. But what I will do, I will give you this repo, the GitHub repo, that has all the startup files that you need. Now don't feel angry about this because it is very basic. I'm gonna give you like a walk through all the files and the folders that I have created. And a side note, we are gonna use HTML for building the layout. That is like we already know that. But for the style, we are gonna use Sass. The reason behind this is that Sass is an industry tool. It is really that you are gonna use in any project that you will build in a job, like in a real job. They will ask you about Sass. So even if you don't know anything about it, don't worry about that. I'm going to explain it as we go. But if you know about it, because we already explained it in like the previous sections and so on. So if you know about it, then that's great. Otherwise, I'm going to explain everything in as we go. So first of all, I want you to jump over to the GitHub link that will be attached to this lecture, like in the resources, in the description, wherever. Feel free to go ahead and open it up, okay? And you will be navigated to this page right here. We are gonna clone it to our operating system so we can build it, okay? Or build something from it. I have just called it Foodie. Okay, you can call it whatever you want, but in our case, I'm just gonna go with this name right here. I'm gonna click on this green button where it says code. I'm gonna clone it. Okay, so I'm gonna click right here on this copy button to copy the URL for it, and here I have VS Code open. I'm gonna click on terminal, new terminal. And here it will open this terminal for me. I'm gonna navigate to the desktop, and in your case you can navigate to whatever folder that you feel happy with. In my case, I'm just gonna stick with the desktop, and then I'm just gonna say git clone and paste the URL that I have copied in a second from my GitHub. I'm gonna hit enter. That will take a second to let's say clone or download the project for me, depend on the internet connection, of course, that you will have. And here, if I switch back to my desktop, I will see that this folder right here is Foodie is now on my operating system or on my desktop. Now I'm gonna drag it and drop it inside VS Code. Okay, and by the way, I'm gonna explain all the folders that I have here in my project so you don't feel confused. So first of all, we have the media folder. The media folder essentially I have included because it includes some of the images that we are going to use in our project. Okay, instead of, by the way, this is optional. You can go ahead and use any images from, for example, from Pixels, from Unsplash, from whatever resource that you feel happy with. But if you wanna like be on the same page with me, you can use this media folder right here. The node modules essentially, by the way, this was uploaded to GitHub by mistake. I know it's not a good practice, but again, I just noticed it right now. But you can't ignore it. By the way, if you don't see the node modules, what you can see once you clone this project, you need to type npm install. Okay, and hit enter. But in my case, I already have the node modules right here, so it says you don't need to do it, or we don't need to do that. We have the styles folder. It has one Sass file and one CSS file. Again, this is a very basic ones. Okay, we don't see anything right here, but as we go, we are gonna add more Sass files and so on. So this is a very basic structure. And if you open the index.html, it is a very basic document, like HTML document that is connected to a CSS file. And we have the package.json, which has all the dependencies, like some of the settings, some of the configuration of the project. And we have the package-lock.json, which has more details information about the package.json file. And if we run this application, by the way, here in my index.html, I'm gonna right click and choose open with live server. You will see that we have this tomato background color on our body. This is something that I have just added for testing purposes, just to ensure that my code is working. So in this video I have just showed you how you can get set up with our project. It's very basic one. Again, I think most of you guys already know the steps that I have did, but I have just included for the people who are new to the stuff that we are doing. Again, this is the structure that I'm gonna follow. I hope you are exciting, and yeah, I will see you in the next one where we are gonna start coding. So see you in the next one.